Hey y'all, it's Anime Kim, and today I'm going to be reviewing the first episode of Tate no Yuusha, and I gotta say, this episode was pretty much entertaining as hell. At the very least, it got to the interesting stuff pretty quickly with our main character Nafumi being transported to another world, and the setting's relatively interesting, and for the most part, introduced some stakes in regards to there being like these wave creatures that show up, and they progressively get stronger in each wave. And it's gone to the point where this kingdom had to summon these four heroes because they couldn't deal with it anymore. And that's why they've ended up summoning Nafumi and three other warriors. And our main character ends up having like this shitty-ass shield weapon that for now can't be used offensively. And like from the get-go, at the very least, it seemingly gives us an underpowered protagonist that isn't some kind of fucking overpowered motherfucker, because a good amount of isekai animes sometimes may overpower the MC or stuff like that. So at the very least, it has a good start. I'd say another good thing about the anime is its visual quality. It has some good animation. It's got a few good tracks here and there, and some of the action bits it had with like now, for me taking on these ball circular creatures did look pretty good. I'll give it its credit. And then the clothing designs and the sword designs are pretty good. I would say really the only downside about this episode was partway in you have the main character falling for the woos of mine, which makes sense because our main character, it's introduced in like the first bits of the episode, isn't really a individual that's extremely sociable, so he would honestly fall. There's a good chance he'd fall for any beautiful woman's charms that's got negative intentions. And then when he does fall for it, because this woman ends up robbing all his shit and accusing him of rape, I would say that's one of the shortcomings about this episode, because you have this king pretty much accuse him because this girl said that she was the main character attempted to rape her, and that's where I was like, wait, what? Because for one, during all this, like, there's no attempts to find out if the main character actually attempted to rape this woman. Like, there's no investigations like, oh yeah, here's a fucking dress. Oh, he's a rapist. He attempted rape. He's bad. And I'm like, wait, what? And while some people might say, well, from the get-go, the king didn't like the shield war. While that may be true, what about the other heroes? I mean, don't they need to kind of be in sync so that they can get rid of these wave creatures, you know? And then the king, shouldn't he put a bigger investigation? Like, maybe ask people around the inn if the main character attempted to rape mine or anything like that. You know? It just feels like this anime, at least just off the first episode, it lacks a bit of logic. It's like, okay. And then this anime does some other things too that don't feel exactly realistic. Like, these four people get transported into another world, and not a single one of them seem to even care. I mean, yes, you have a few of them say that they don't want to help out these people in the other world because they don't want to live their peaceful lives unless they get some good reward. And while that was all fine and dandy, there weren't any instances of any of these characters like missing their families, coming to the realization that, damn, we might be in this other world for multiple years. None of that kind of stuff. And I felt that if this episode would have had that, it would have felt a bit more realistic. Instead, it just feels so casual. It's like, oh yeah, we got swords, cool. Oh yeah, we're heroes? Alright, cool. It just feels like it's so fucking casual sometimes in this anime. And that's the issue I have with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed some of the things in this episode, but things like that kept me from really loving it, but I still liked it. And then other things about this episode that, at the very least, were positive. At the very least, this episode did have our character kind of start out with like a spineless-like personality, but after that whole false rape accusation that he got, I like how at the very least he manned the fuck up. he gained some character development because seems to be getting like this kind of like anti-villain mentality when he's like fucking threatening item dealers that if they don't give him fair negotiations, he's gonna fucking kick their asses. So that was a positive because like the things he went through, it would honestly develop him. So this episode did a good job of making him much more assertive, and then especially towards the end where this fucking creepy guy is like offering him slaves, and then he comes across as like demi-human. So all in all, it did have some positive elements at the very least. And you see the character at the very least progressively let himself up by utilizing his shield, by feeding it. So that was pretty nice. So this episode wasn't all bad. It had some good elements. And at the very least, there wasn't a single moment where it was dull. Just moments where it's like, fucking writing. But, I digress. Maybe it gets better in the future episodes. And I'd say overall it was a pleasant episode. I actually liked it. And I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Still above average. Because it did a few things well. The sound, art, animation was well done. I did like Nafumi's character development at the very least. And then this dealer that's like a bit darker toned and has a beard, he was pretty cool too, how he helped hook up the main protagonist when he was talking to the protagonist and he found out that, yeah, he didn't attempt to rape a woman. So that was also a pretty cool scene there, especially like the little scene where he gets this money and then puts it in the shop of the item shop owner. So all in all, those are some pretty good scenes showing that despite the shit that Nufumi went through, he still has enough kindness in him to do some cool stuff. So I like that too. That he's not completely cold. I would say really, I almost forgot to mention this, the downside about this anime is that some characters in the show, they just feel a bit too cold at times. But, who knows, maybe it'll get better as it progresses. But yeah, guys and gals, these are my thoughts on the first episode. Comment out your thoughts and leave us below in the comment section. For anyone that wants to see like an isekai setting, an anime with like an isekai setting, check it out. It's pretty entertaining. And at the very least, it doesn't have the cliche of having a protagonist overpowered. But then again, it's the first episode. So for all we know, the shield item that people say is a dud could be fucking uber godly as the series progresses. But for the most part, it's pretty good. And for anyone else to see an anime with a cool fantasy looking setting, it's worth checking out. At least those are my impressions from the first episode. So anyways, rate the video, subscribe if you want to see more reviews and reactions, and I'll see you guys later. If you subscribe for more, bye bye.